Hello my people, welcome to another tutorial. I'm Agnes. In case you're new to this channel, you're welcome. In today's tutorial I will show you how you can do this floral top. I found this pattern on YouTube and I thought it would make a cute top, so I made the top. It's a repeat of 2 rows. It's quite easy if you get the hang of it from the beginning. It's just a repeat of 2 rows. And I'll be giving you different measurements for different sizes as we go on, so they are within the tutorial. Let's get into the tutorial, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Thank you. All right, for the materials, you're going to need a tape measure, and this for once I'm going to be using centimeters because I lost my inches tape measure. But if you have a tape measure that is in inches, you can, whatever measurements I give you, just Google what they are in inches. I'm going to be using a 3.0 millimeter hook. And for the yarn, this is Kira. It's from Volido, 50 grams, 125 meters each ball. It's 100% cotton. It recommends 2.5 to 3.5, but I'm using a 3 millimeter hook and scissors. You can also use any other yarn that is not cotton. This is more like mercerized cotton. I tried also to use, this was a cotton acrylic blend yarn, and yeah, it looks like this, but I like the drape of this better, so I went with this. But I love this color, it's really pretty. Anyway, we are going to start with the foundation chain. I'm doing a size extra small, stroke small. For the other sizes, I'm going to give you the measurements. So you're going to make a slip knot, and then you're going to make chains. It's multiples of 10 plus 5. So it will be like 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, then at the end plus 5, which is the turning chain. So I'm going to make enough chains for my size. I will give you the measurements in the chart. Check the chart and see how many centimeters you need for your foundation chain, and then I'll come back to you. This is my chain, and this is for a size extra small, stroke small. I have about 105 chains, and that is an equivalent of 50 centimeters. So it can be less, it can be more. We are working with measurements, so I mean multiples. It can be more than that or less than that. It shouldn't matter as long as it's around that same, you know, it can be like 46 or it can be like 52, depending on what type of yarn you're using. I have 105 chains, but if you're using a different type of yarn or size of yarn, then it's going to be more or less. Okay, so the number of chains doesn't matter as long as you have a multiple of 10 plus 5. What matters is the measurements. Okay, so the measurements are also not going to be exactly the same for all of us. It could be a bit less or a bit more. It will not change the outcome. Okay, so now we are going to go to row 1, and this is a repeat of 2 rows. Okay, so we'll be repeating our first row and our second row. And now what we are going to do is we are going to go to row 1 without counting this chain on the hook. You're going to count 1, 2. This is our first chain, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and in the 10th stitch here, in that 10th chain, you're going to go into that chain, and you are going to make, I'm going in the 2 loops, all right? So you are going to go in there and you are going to make a single crochet. So you have something looking like this. All right, and then next is you're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and then in the 5th chain you're going to make a single crochet. I'm going in 2 loops so that's more secure, like that, and we're just going to repeat this. So you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 5th chain you make a single crochet. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, into the 5th one you make a single crochet, and you're going to repeat this until you get to the end. Before we continue, this is what we are trying to do. I already have one of my panels, but they are the same. So we are starting down here where the foundation chain is, and then we work those chains, and then the next will be the flower row, and then the chain row, like that. Okay, so we are going to work all the way as we go up from the bottom. So this is where we are starting our foundation chain, and we will work our way to the top. I came all the way like this. I'm coming to the end of the chain, and I have my 5 chains remaining. So we'll still do the same thing that we did with the previous chain. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into the last one you make a single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 4, in the last one make a single crochet. All right, so we have our foundation chain, which looks like this, our first row. Okay, so now we are going to go to row 2, and I want you to take a book and write down how we are working the stitches, because it's very important, because we're going to be repeating, and it can be a little bit confusing if you don't write it down, or you can always rewind and see how I did it. Okay, so now for row 2, please note how we do the ends and the beginnings. Okay, so for row 2 we are going to chain 1. This is how we start on our second row, which is the floral row where we do the flower petals. Okay, so chain 1, turn your work, and it's going to be the same. It's going to be repetitive, so take note of that. So chain 1, turn 1, and now I'm going to work 5 single crochets along this first chain. Okay, so I go into this space here, yeah, and I work 1 single crochet, go in, 2nd single crochet, 3rd single crochet, 4th single crochet, and 5th single crochet. Okay, so that's how we begin the floral. Okay, so then now into this first single crochet stitch here, I go in with my 6th single crochet. So it's 5, and then the 6th is here. Now we start on the petals. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, 2, 3. All right, and then you're going to yarn over twice. So we are making a treble. Okay, so you yarn over once and then yarn over twice. Okay, and then we are going to go into this same space where we made our single crochet, in this single crochet space here, and then we are going to make a treble. So you're going to go in, and you have 4 loops on the hook. Pull through once, you pull through 2, and then pull through 2 again, and then pull through 2. So we have a treble, right? Now we're going to work into this space here. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1. Are we together? So we did 5 single crochets in this space, and then I did a single crochet into this single crochet space, and then I chained 3, made a treble in that same space, and then chain 1. Okay, you might want to write that down. 5 single crochets, 1 single crochet, chain 3, treble, chain 1. Okay, so now you're going to yarn over only one time, and we are going to go into this space, and we're going to work 6 double crochets. So I go into this space here, and I work 1 double crochet. Okay, in that same space, 2nd double crochet, 3rd double crochet, 4th double crochet, 5th double crochet, and 6th double crochet. Okay, so we have something looking like this. 6 double crochets, right? And now I'm going to go into that same space, this same space where we are working, and then make a single crochet in there. Okay, so now we close off this first petal, and we need to make 3 petals. So I'm going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and make a treble again in that same space. So yarn over twice, then in this space make a treble. So pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And what do we do after that? Chain 1. Okay, and then what do we do after that? 6 double crochets, so in that space. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They are going along this treble, okay? 5, and then 6. Okay, and then what do we do after that? You just like push it like this and then close it off. So you make a single crochet in this same space. We're still working in that one single crochet, that first single crochet. Okay, so now we have 2 petals. Okay, so now we need a 3rd petal. So now at the moment it looks like this. So we need a 3rd petal, and what do we do to make the petals? You chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then yarn over twice, and then push this aside. In that same space make a treble. So pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 3, and then what do we do? Chain 1 and then 6 double crochets in that, along that treble. Four, 5, 6. So now we have 6 double crochets, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now how do we close that off? With a single crochet in that same space. So this is what we have. It's looking like this. Okay, this does not count. These are just single crochets, so that these are the 3 petals. Okay, now we need to go to our second flower. We are done with our first one. So what we'll do now is how we did this first one. You first do in this space here, yeah, you do 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in that chain 5 space we do 5 single crochets, and now we are getting to this single crochet, which is our second single crochet. That was our first one, this is our second one, and now you're going to go in and make your 6th single crochet. But we are not putting a flower here, we are putting a flower after 2 spaces, chain spaces. So you're going to continue again with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now in this space, in this chain 1 is where we make our 6th, and that's where we'll put our flower. So here we have 5, 6, 11, 12 single crochets, and now we're going to put our next flower here, but watch how I do it. So first we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, because that's what we were doing, and then yarn over twice because we need to make a treble. So in that same space here you're going to go in with a treble, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And now normally we would chain a 1 and then do the petals, but we need to connect the petals, right? So we have this. Before you chain a 1, take out your hook just like I did, and now you're going to go into your 3rd petal on this side. Okay, so this was petal 1, petal 2, petal 3. This was like the last petal. So you're going to go on top of that top stitch there, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, into that 6th, the top stitch there, you insert your hook like this, and then you're going to go to where you have this loop here like this, yeah, and now you're going to pull through like this. So you're connecting this petal to this petal, and here it looks weird, right? But don't worry about that, it's supposed to look like that. Okay, so once you connect like that, then now you have to chain a 1. Remember, we're chaining a 1 before we started on the double crochets, so now this is where you do it. So chain 1, yarn over, and now you're going to make your 6 double crochets in here. So go in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to go a little bit faster because it's like how we did with here. So close it off with a single crochet in that same space, chain 3, yarn over twice, treble, chain 1, and then 6 double crochets. So that's our second petal. So you're only joining the last to the first petal. 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then here single crochet. All right, so this is 1, 2. I need a third one. 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice, make a treble, chain 1, and then 6 double crochets. Five and 6, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 petals, then single crochet to close it off. Okay, so that is our second flower. So first flower, second flower. Now we are just going to repeat this process. So what did we do after making this one? We made 5 single crochets, 1 single crochet in this, 5 single crochets, 1 single crochet in this before our next petal. All right, so let's do that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 single crochets. Okay, and now my 6th single crochet on top of that single crochet, and then again 5 in this 5 chain space chain. How many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now this is my 12th single crochet. Okay, so this is what we have here. It looks funny at the start, but then it changes. Okay, so now we need a flower here. So it's 5 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 single crochet. So now I'm going to chain 3, yarn over twice in that same space here, make a treble. Okay, chain 1. No, don't chain 1 because we need to connect, so I remove this. So after you make the treble, you connect this to this. So take out your hook, go on top of this first stitch, which is here at the top, and then connect to this, pull through, and that's when you chain a 1. Okay, so it looks weird, but yeah, that's how we start it. So now we're going to repeat this whole process, and now you do 6 double crochets, and basically you're going to repeat the process until you are at the end. Okay, so I think I've given you enough information on how to do that. If you're confused, go back and see how we started. It's the same thing that we do with the flower. Just don't forget here, it's every 5 chains, it's 5. Every 5 chains is 5 chains. 5 single crochets. And then just repeat that. I will meet you at the end. All right, so I'm done with row 2, as you can see. So at the end here, I have these 5 chains remaining, right? So what we do with that is we are going to make 5 single crochets. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now to really close off row 2, and you have to remember this, you're going to chain 6 chains. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to turn your work and you're going to go on top of this petal here in this stitch, and you're going to make a single crochet. So there you have your row 1 done. Okay, now for row 2 we are going to just repeat for row 3 we are going to repeat row 2, which is 5 chains. So I'm just going to turn my work like this. So don't forget this part here. When you're done with the floral part, you have to chain 6 and attach to this one before you move on. So now we are just going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to go on top of this petal, next petal, up here, and you're going to join with a single crochet like that. Okay, and then you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now you're going to go in between last petal and first petal of the next. Okay, so on top here, now in here where we join these 2 petals, in between there you are going to make a single crochet like that. Okay, so then you chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you go at the top of this petal, the middle petal, and then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So between these 2 flowers, right there where we join the petals, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the top of this middle petal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here where we joined is where you make a single crochet, and you're going to repeat that. Looks like this. Repeat that until you get to the end. So this will be a repeat row. Okay, so repeat that until you get to the end, and I'll show you how we close off row 3. So I went all the way. This is how it's looking like, and now in the end what we are going to do is you are going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then at the top here, all right, so at the top, and then you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to go on top of this next one. Okay, before it was where we joined, but now there's nothing that we joined to this, so I'll just go on top of this next petal here. Okay, and then now to join this part to this lower part, so remember that at the end of every chain row you're going to yarn over 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on the hook, and then we're going to go on top of this stitch here, single crochet stitch here, and then you're going to pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then pull through 2. Okay, so this is how it ends row 3. So at the end of every chain row you will do the 4 loops, and then do, I don't know, this is not a treble, it's like 5 times. Okay, so now we are going to repeat row 2, which is the floral part. So remember how we're repeating row 2. At the beginning you chain 1, turn your work, and now you do, if you remember how we started this one, which is here, you do 5 single crochets. So in that chain 5 space. Okay, so I'm just going to go into this chain 5 space and do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 3 single crochets, 4 single crochets, and 5 single crochets, which resembles this. And then my next single crochet is on top of this single crochet here, and now we start on the petals. Okay, so we are repeating this. So chain 3, yarn over twice into this same stitch here, make a treble, and then chain 1, and then 6 double crochets. So it's a repeat of row 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we are repeating row 2, 5 single crochets, 5 single crochets, chain 3, treble, chain 1, 6 single crochets, double crochets. And then to close that petal off, you go into the same stitch, make a single crochet, and then you repeat 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice in that same space, make a treble, then chain 1, then 6 single crochets along this treble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And how do you close it off? With a single crochet in that very same stitch, like that. And then you do your third petal, which is 3 stitches, chains, yarn over twice, make a treble in that same stitch, chain 1, and 6 double crochets along that treble. From 5 and 6, push this to the side in the same space, make a single crochet. So we have our first petal, which is sitting right on top of the previous petal. Now we are just going to continue how we did row 2. So after your 3 petals, your first flower, then you're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets in that chain space, and on top of this first one you're going to do your 6th single crochet, and then you're going to do another 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then your 12 right here in this single crochet here. That's your 12. Now we are going to do another petal on top of this petal. So you're going to chain 3, yarn over twice, and then do the treble, and then you take your hook, put it on top of this petal here in this first stitch at the top, and then bring it over here and just pull through. Okay, and then you chain 1, and then you do the 6 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to close it off, then you make a single crochet in there. And now you're going to repeat the 2 petals here, and you're just going to repeat flower on top of flower, flower on top of flower, and yeah, that will be it. So you'll keep repeating this, and I will meet you at the end here just to show you one more time how we finish off. All right, so I'm done with the 3rd row, and to finish it off just like we did here, on this other side. So once you're done here, I'm going to do 5 single crochets. Okay, so I'm done with this last flower, so I do 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can put the 5th on top here of this single crochet, and 5. Okay, so we are done with that. Now next we have to go to the row of the chains. You remember how we started with the row of the chains? You first have to do 6 to join here, so you chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You turn your work like this, and then you join that to the top of this first with a single crochet, and now you're like completely done. And now you start with the 5 chains, so don't forget this. So once you're done with the flower, you do 5 single crochets and then chain 6 and connect. Okay, and then that's when we begin with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so these are 6, but the ones on top, once you connect here to the top of the flower, this one here, the first petal, then you start chaining 5. So you chain 5 and you connect that to the top of the middle petal, and then you chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't chain 5. Okay, 5, and you connect that to where we join the petals here, the flowers, sorry. So you have this, you will keep doing that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on top of this middle petal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that goes in between these 2 flowers with a single crochet. So you'll have this. Okay, so once you're done with that, then you'll go all the way, and once you get here, you do the 5, and then you remember how to connect this to this. You yarn over 4 times and then do that long whatever here. Okay, you yarn, I think you pull through 5 times. Okay, and then you begin again with this row. So you're just going to continue repeating row 2 and row 3, row 2, row 3, row 2, row 3, until you get to the length that you like. As for me, this is my first panel. Okay, and this is the length that I wanted. So it depends, you could make it long, very long actually, if you like, but for me it's about, if I measure from the top flower, it's about 30 centimeters. So the length is from the top of your shoulder until where you want it to reach. So I don't know how long you want yours to be. It could be 50, could be 100, depends. Just keep adding more rows until you get the length that you are satisfied with. Okay, and once you have that length, then you'll go on and do another second panel, which is exactly like the first one, same number of stitches, same number of flowers. And once you have that, I will meet you so that we can do the sleeves, join the panels, and then do the sleeves. All right, so in the end, your flowers should look like this. It's one flower on top of another if you're doing it right. Okay, and remember here I have where I was doing, this is the right side and the wrong side looks something like this. Okay, so all right, I'll see you once you have everything. I've got the length that I want of my top, and that is, it's a crop top for me. You can make it longer. If you want to make it longer, then add more rows. For me, when I measure this, it's about 30 centimeters long. So I started here, and this is 30 centimeters long. If you want it longer, just continue adding more rows. And in the end, you'll end it with, see how you start the flower. So you end it with the flower row, and you just start it, and at the end you don't chain the 6 that we were chaining to join. So this mirrors the start. The end and the start are kind of the same. Okay, and then you can just cut off your yarn, and then you will do the second panel, which is very identical. So you'll start with the number of chains. Mine was 105, and work the same number of flowers. I have 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I have 10 flowers. So I worked the second one, which is very identical. So I have 10 flowers in width, and in length I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Same actually. So I worked the next one, which is also the same. You need to fasten this once you're done. So it's the same, it's 2 identical panels, and then we are going to join them on this end of where we started. So this is going to be at the bottom, and this will be at the top, around our shoulders, along our shoulders. Okay, so to join them, this is what we are going to do. So we are going to put them the wrong side facing up. So this is the right side, and this is the wrong side. One is facing down and one is facing up. And I want us to leave 4 flowers for the neckline. 1 2 3 4, about this. And if you're making a bigger size, you can leave about 5, or if you want like an off shoulder, leave whatever number that you like. So you're going to get your stitch markers, and we are going to measure to mark that. I have 10 flowers, so if I want to leave 4, I will mark 3 on one side, leave 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. That makes it 6, which means I stay with 4 for the neckline. So I'm going to count 3 flowers from each side. So 1 2, this is my 3rd flower. So between the 3rd flower and the 4th flower, we have that single crochet that we're making on the chain, on the foundation chain. That's where I'm going to put my stitch marker. And then on the other side too, I'll count 1 2 3, the 3rd flower. Between the 3rd and the 4th, we have that single crochet. I put my other stitch marker. If you want your neckline to be bigger, then you can leave a bigger number, or if you have, that's about 20 centimeters. If you have an even, if you have flowers that are not even, because mine are even, they're like 10, but if you have something like 11, then you're not going to leave 4 flowers, but you leave 5, so that you have the same number on one side and the same number on the other side. So you will have like 5 here, and then you have 3 3. If you have, let's say 13, you'll have 5 here, and then you have 4 4. Depends on the number that you have. Okay, so if you have an even number, then you'll leave an even number of flowers. If you have an odd number, you will leave an odd number of flowers in the middle. So mine is 1 2 3 4. All right, so now we are going to join this side, as well as from this stitch marker to this side. Then we leave this for the neckline. So I should have joined these 2, 1 2 3, and hit 1 2 3. So this should be joining on this end too. All right, so let's do that. Join the side. I did one side already, and this is how it looks like on the wrong side, and this is on the right side. I'm using a needle, but you can also slip stitch or single crochet if you don't have a needle. And I am going to start from the end towards the stitch marker. So we will be working the chains. We'll be joining the foundation chains together. Okay, so I'll just go in here where I started, and on the other side where my foundation chain is, here in the first chain, and then I'm just going to pull, and I will tie a knot. So you can single crochet or slip stitch along that foundation chain if you don't have a needle, but I think the needle is faster in this case. So we are working only along these chains, the foundation chains, joining them together. So I'll just go into every chain on every panel and just, you know, put them together like this. And when you get to something like this flower, and on this other end, just go in between so that it is like more secure. Or if you get to where we have the single crochet. So otherwise it's just these chains. I'm going in both the front and the back panels in those chains, inserting my needle like this and then pulling. So here where I have the single crochet, I go in between that single crochet and in between that single crochet on the other side and pull, and then continue. And then here where I have the flower, you can go in between the single crochet or in this space, whichever that you like. Okay, so just do that until you get to where you have the stitch marker. Remove the stitch marker, work into that single crochet on both ends, fasten off, and then you do the other side too. And in the end, it should look something like this. This is on the right side. Okay, and whatever we have here is our neckline, and then we come and give you the measurements for the sleeves. All right, your two panels joined together, it should look something like this. I have my 4 flowers here. That's my neckline. You can make this longer if you want, you know, wider. Make it an off shoulder if you like. You can leave about, I don't know, 10 inches or so. But for me, I just wanted it like this. So now we're going to work on the sleeves. Sleeves are basically the same pattern as what we did with the front and back panel, so I will not show you from the beginning. I just need to explain it. As you can see, for my front and back panels, I had 10 flowers, and for the sleeve, it's just smaller. You start the same way, 10 plus 10 plus 10, multiples of 10, then at the end plus 5, which is the turning chain, right? So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flowers. Yet the other side I had 10. So my sleeve, the foundation chain of my sleeve is about 35 centimeters. Okay, so I'm an extra small, stroke small. And if you want your sleeve to be smaller, because mine is not small, it's like a baggy kind of. If you want your sleeve to be smaller, then you can take out maybe, mine is 35. You can take out about 5 centimeters or more. Okay, I'm going to give you the measurements for this kind of fit. If you want it smaller, just take out a few more centimeters or inches of what I give you. And for the length, I did about, for the length of my sleeve, it's about 42, no, 43 centimeters. I'll also give you the length for petite, regular, and tall for the sleeve. So you're going to check the charts, and then you're going to make a foundation chain of multiples of 10 plus 5. It should be approximately to what is on the chart. Like I said, we are working with multiples of 10, and if you're using a different size of yarn or a different tension or whatever, it can range. It won't be exactly. Can be, if you make your foundation chain, it can be less or more, and that should not worry you. Okay, so once you have your sleeve, then you'll go ahead and do another sleeve that is exactly the same. Okay, and I have 7 flowers for mine. So once you have those 2 sleeves, then we are going to join them to the body that we already joined. So now I'm going to give you the measurements on this next slide. Look at it, whatever size you're making, and you can make something similar. I'm going to lay your sweater like this. So these are the sleeves. These are the sleeves, and then we have this part already joined. I tried it on and I had foundation. Now it's looking all crazy. So this is on the wrong side. So what I did is find the middle part of the sleeve. So you can fold your sleeve like into half and then determine the middle of your sleeve. Put a stitch mark there if you have to. And mine already determined the middle of my sleeve, and that should be in sync with this line that we're joining. So this is the middle of my sleeve, okay? And then you just lay it like this, lay it straight along this line here, and making sure that that's the middle of your sleeve, and then this part should be the same as this part. So I'm using stitch markers to mark that, and once I laid it here, then I counted how many of these I have. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where this was meeting here, and then I counted the same on this side so that it is equal on both ends. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the end of the 4th, that's where I'm attaching. Okay, but that's after you've laid your sleeve nicely like this. So you determine, so you just put a stitch marker on one and then count how many stitches or whatever that you flowers or something, so that you have the same number of flowers on that side, same number of flowers on this side, so that it is symmetric. Okay, so that you don't find one side is longer than the other. And I already joined this part just like we joined here. I use my darning needle from one stitch marker all the way to the other stitch marker. This is on the wrong side, so I'm going to do the same for this. I don't have to show you because I already showed you how we did that here. So just do the same like this, and then I'll meet you once you have both sleeves joined. Okay, once you have everything sewed together, the sleeves, then you are going to fold this, and then you are just going to sew all the way from here to down here, or from down here all the way to the sleeve, and then you'll do the same for this side. Yeah, and you're done. Basically that is it. So once you just sew the sides of the sleeve and the sides of the cardigan, yeah, that's it. You just cut off your loose ends or sew them in, and then you have your sweater. Just turn it to the right side, and that's it. So I tried it on and I love it. I love how this color is so beautiful. So if you've recreated this, please tag me on social media. It's AC Crochets on all platforms. And I also sell written patterns. I have not written this one yet, but you can check out my Etsy shop. I will leave the links in the description box and in the comment section. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.